Konnichiwa! Welcome to Mandy Loves Japan. So today I wanted to talk to you about the fact that I am planning a trip to Japan, starting that in just 2 weeks. I'm super excited about going. I'm going to be taking my husband with me. It will be the first time that he has visited Japan. So this is a really exciting journey for us. I really wanted to discuss with you some of the top things that I like to take with me when I travel to Japan. Now, some of these are useful for any sort of traveling you do, and some of them are Japan specific. Let's start with one of the things that I think is really useful for anywhere that you travel. So packing cubes I find incredibly handy for when you're organizing your suitcase. Last time I got some packing cubes from Kmart and I was a little disappointed, to be honest. The quality was pretty poor, probably to be expected, but I thought I'd give it a go. And I found that the zips were really fragile. So one of them, the zip actually broke during my trip, which made it kind of useless. So this time I've gone with a different brand. This is not sponsored by this brand, but it's called Globite. They seem to be quite heavy duty. The fabric's better. I like the fact that they've got the 2 zips and they're a little bit more strong looking. And of course they have this cool little hangy strap thing. So you can actually hang those in the cupboard of wherever you're staying. So this pack came in 3 sizes and I just picked it up from Big W. So that's really handy to take with you when you travel. I particularly enjoy having an organized suitcase because it means I don't have to waste time trying to find what I'm after, and I can spend more time out and getting to see the area. So that is one that I find is really useful for anywhere that you go. Number 2, you need comfy shoes. I cannot recommend comfortable walking shoes enough when you're in Japan. There's an awful lot of walking that you need to do between train stations and even between platforms on train stations. There's not a lot of lifts and escalators outside of the major centers, so you need to make sure that your feet are feeling pretty happy with you. Then, of course, when you go to certain places, you need to take off your shoes. There's lots of shrines and special locations in Japan where they will not allow you to wear shoes on their tatami mats or on their very old wooden floors. So you need to make sure that your socks are nice and new and clean and no holes in the toes. The other thing that I recommend with your shoes is that you use elastic laces. Because you need to take your shoes on and off quite often, elastic laces just make it so much easier. Now these ones are just like, they look like a normal shoelace, but they are of course very stretchy. Or there are other brands that you can get that look like this. And each one of these goes across the shoe like this, and they come in about a set of 14 of different sizes so that you can fit them to your feet. Number 3 on my list, and this is good for any type of travel as well, is a little display folder. And what I like to keep in my display folder is all of my ticket information, my boarding passes, any of the bookings that I've made. So whether it be a booking of an accommodation or a booking of a particular attraction that you're going to see, I like to keep it all in there. It's a great way to just be able to flick through and see that. And with your display folder, make sure you carry a black pen. If you're going to be filling in any important documents in Japan, it needs to be done in black, not blue, not pink or green or any of that sort of thing. It must be black. So make sure that you carry a black pen with you. Also, it's always handy if you want to stick a couple of pieces of notepaper in your display folder just so that you can make notes about cool stuff that you see or anything like that. I've also, from my previous trip, picked up a nice little postcard of an area that I was staying in. So I've popped that in my display folder as well to keep it nice and safe and not getting damaged. Now, this is number 4 on my list, a little Enviro bag or a little reusable shopping bag. So this one, it came in a little cute case with a carabiner attached. Super handy, so I can just pop it onto my backpack or my handbag while I'm walking around, and then if I buy something or I want to put something else in a bag, not my backpack, I can just pop him out and use him anytime I like. Really handy for when you're traveling, not just in Japan but any place. Last thing on my list of 5 is definitely a Japan specific one, and this is Mishi. Now Mishi is the Japanese word for business cards, and that's really important in Japanese culture. So when you're meeting people, you often exchange Mishi. I have my little business card holder, and in there I have some business cards that I just made up for when I travel to Japan. So on my Mishi, I just have my phone number, my email address, and I have my name in English and Japanese. The reason I have my name in both English and Japanese is so that it's easy to read and it's easy for the Japanese people to pronounce as well. So that's a really handy little item. And of course, there's a whole bunch of really important information about how to properly exchange Mishi in Japanese culture. I feel like that's a subject for another video. So that's my top 5. I'm just going to show you those again. So my top 1, packing cubes, super handy for anywhere that you travel and keeping your suitcase nice and neat. Shoes, socks, and elastic laces are keeping your feet nice and happy while you're tramping around Japan and making sure that when you take your shoes off, your feet still look good when you're in those temples. A display folder and a black pen so that you can keep all of your important information in one place and you can fill out any details as you need to. Little Enviro bag to carry any extra souvenirs that you may purchase, whether or not they come with their own bag, or if you just want to combine some of your bits and pieces that you're carrying around. And finally, number 5, Mishi, for introducing yourself to people in Japan and making sure that you are remembered when you visit. Thank you so much for watching Mandy Loves Japan on the top 5 things that I recommend for taking with you when you travel to Japan. And of course, when I'm in Japan, I'm going to be making sure that you guys can journey with me. Please remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you next time. Ja ne!